Hello friends, I am Dr. Abhishek Moghe from Symbiosis Center of Healthcare. Today I am going to talk about COVID appropriate behavior. Now COVID appropriate behavior includes these three acts. As you can see in the picture, these acts are hand washing, wearing a mask and social distancing. The details of these will be explained to you in this video.
Every day, we make moves like we do in the game of chess to checkmate COVID-19. Moves like clean your hands frequently, cough or sneeze into your elbow, wear a mask, keep your distance at least 1 meter, and open a window if possible. Each move is important and should be played as often as possible. Make your moves. Checkmate COVID-19.
So you saw that by following these behavior, we can indeed checkmate this pandemic. Now, why hand washing? Our hands are the most commonly used part of the body as far as interaction with others is concerned. Whenever we give or take something from someone, whenever we eat something, whenever we use mobile phones, remotes, headphones, whenever we handle keys or hold a cup of tea, whenever maybe we need to scratch, rub, etc. You see, in all these events, the hands are the instrument by which we complete the act. And understandably, by doing so, we are also transporting whatever there is sitting on the hands, visible or invisible, for example, germs. Now, if we do not wash our hands frequently, especially when we think they might be soiled, we will end up transferring these germs from one person to another, either directly or indirectly. And that is why it is advised to wash your hands frequently, the details of which I will explain a little later. We will see exactly how should we wash our hands.
Hand washing should take you about 1 minute. Use a timer or count from 1 to 10 in each of the following steps. Wet hands with water and apply enough soap to cover all surfaces of the hands. Let the water run smoothly to avoid touching the tap later on. Rub hands palm to palm to obtain a good quantity of foam. Then rub right palm over the back of left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub again palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked, repeating this action for each hand. Rub rotationally left thumb clasped in right palm and vice versa. To clean the tips of the fingers, rub rotationally backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of right hand in left palm and vice versa. Rinse hands thoroughly with running water. Dry hands thoroughly with a single-use towel. If the tap is not elbow operated, use this towel to turn off the tap without touching it directly. Your hands are now clean and safe.
As we saw in the previous video, we should wash our hands thoroughly to make sure that they are clean and germ-free, so that we prevent the disease, prevent the spread of the disease as well. And to do that, we have to remember that we invest sufficient time to the act of hand washing. So, as you can see in the image, these are the steps of hand washing. As you can see that each of these steps are assigned a word so that it is easy to remember. Well, I remember it with the mnemonic, "We soaked in sand to run dry." Obviously, you can make one of your own to memorize it. Up till now, we learnt how to keep our hands clean at all times to avoid spread of infection. But friends, what if someone at our home or hostel or any place where we dwell gets sick? That we'll try to understand now. First and foremost, we need not panic. We have to remember that this disease is contagious, but at the same time, this can be addressed. So when there is a sick person at home, we may need to interact with him or her for certain reasons, like handing over the food. Every time you are involved in such an act, do not forget to wash your hands or use a hand sanitizer if hands are not visibly soiled before and after the act. It is better to use disposable paper towels to dry hands. Clean cloth towels can also be used if they are dedicated for such a use. In case you wear gloves for some reason, perform essential hand hygiene before and after. You see, there can be situations when you feel the need of cleaning your hands, but washing is not possible. Or you notice that your hands are not visibly dirty, but a need to clean them is there. In all these instances, you can use an alcohol-based hand rub or sanitizer. But you need to understand that these should be containing at least 60% alcohol. Only then they can work. Always remember that these do not get you rid of all the germs. These may not be of any help if the hands are visibly dirty, as they cannot remove chemicals like pesticides, grease, or other oily substances. As I told you earlier, please remember to wash your hands before and after these activities. So these are the guidelines about hand hygiene. But the thing is, you should use appropriate hand hygiene on every occasion you feel necessary. So it's actually in your hands. So that brings us to the second aspect of the COVID appropriate behavior, and that is wearing a mask. There are a number of things that we need to do, that we need to keep in mind before using a mask. I mean, we have been using a mask for more than a year now. But before I go into the details of masking, I would share a word on the size of the mask that you would like to use for yourself. You see, unless a mask is of a perfect size, it will not serve its purpose. It will not snugly fit to make a seal around your nose or mouth, and it will keep sliding down, or it may not cover adequate area if it is of a smaller size. So now we are going to watch a video on how to select perfect size mask.
There is no one head size. Hats come in small, medium, and large. Eyeglasses are fitted. Just like with a hat or glasses, your mask should also fit your face, because any gap allows the virus to escape. No matter how good your mask is at filtering the virus, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't work. There are plenty of ways to get a good fit. Look for masks that come in different sizes and find the one that fits your face. Adjust the straps around your ears or head for a snug fit. Look for a mask with a flexible nose piece. Here's what to check. No gaps at the sides, no gaps at the nose, and no gaps around the chin. Now, breathe normally. Is it comfortable? If not, find another one. If it is comfortable, make sure when you blow hard, the air stays in your mask. Stay safe, close the gaps. And don't forget, it's not just about masks. Get vaccinated when it's your turn. Keep your distance, clean your hands, cover your cough with a bent elbow or tissue, and open a window.
Now, why to wear mask? Having known how to choose a correct mask for yourself, let's talk about why to wear a mask at all. We all know that COVID-19, like many other infections, also spreads via aerial route. So it travels via droplets through the air and enters another human body. That is how it transmits. Imagine that there is a barrier on all such possible routes of entry, like a border fence which it cannot cross. This is what it is. It's a barrier, an obstacle in the path of COVID-19 virus to infect another human being and cause disease. And also remember, without invading a live host cell, a virus cannot cause disease, let alone the spread. Masks can be broadly divided into two types. One which is used by a healthy person and another one which is to be used by a sick person to stop the spread of the infection. So when to wear a mask? See, we know that the basic purpose of masking is to prevent ourselves and another human being from getting the infection. So we need to be masked every time we are stepping out of the house. It's even better if a mask becomes a part of all the checklists that you make when you plan your visit out of the house. Because when you go out, you get to come across people who are, not known to you. So clearly you might not know their status of infection, and moreover, if any one of us are in the pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic, as they call it, phase, the infection we will spread unknowingly. So that is the reason always wear a mask and stop the spread. Now, where to wear mask? For a very long time, we all have been stuck to a place because of the pandemic. Maybe it is a household or a hostel, etc. And being a social animal that we are, meeting people is something we cannot live without. During the intermediary periods of relaxations given by the government in COVID mitigation guidelines, due to our social nature, we feel this urge to go out and meet friends, relatives, go to the hostel parties, Another situation is there when we need to go out for a more serious cause, like in case of medical emergencies or in case of traveling for an important reason. Now, it may be anything in your case, but you cannot avoid going out. You should always wear a mask, especially in the settings where overcrowding is anticipated. So you need to think twice before going out of the house. Basically, if you are healthy and you want to wear a mask, you should opt for a non-medical mask made up of fabric. And that, mind you, would be reusable. You can wash and use it again, unless it is torn, obviously. But if you are at a high risk of getting infected because you have another long-term disease or your immunity is at a lower level, at that point in time, you should choose a medical mask. But remember, this one will be only one-time use, like, use and dispose. That's it. Now we'll understand the same thing by the help of this video. I hope by now you have understood why, when, and which one about the mask, right? So now we will try to learn the correct way to wear a mask. First of all, perform hand hygiene. After that, take the mask out, touching only the straps. Place the straps behind your ears, over your head, depending on the make of the mask. Then tighten the elastic of the straps to make it snugly fit, like a seal. Ensure that it is covering your nose, mouth and chin. Pinch over the metal edge over the nose. You can make out if your mask is upside down based on that, or also by the label printed on your mask. As you can see in the picture, your mask should be first covering the face from nose to chin. Pinch the plate over the nose to make a seal around your nose and mouth. Do all the maneuvering only touching the elastic stripes or band, okay, to tie it. Now, important things to remember: stepping out, mask out. There is no stepping out without your masks are out. So, step out, mask out. Always keep a spare mask for unplanned replacement. Never keep your mask hanging by your ears, because this makes the inner surface exposed to the environment and it defeats the purpose of wearing a mask at all. Your mask stops the disease, not your voice. So you need not to remove your mask while speaking, either on phone or in person. Never put your mask on the highly touched surfaces like the tabletops. You should dispose used masks by closing them, putting them inside an envelope or a disposable bag. Now remember, children below 2 years of age and also the people having trouble breathing due to another medical cause can be spared from wearing a mask. But remember, this group should take extra precautions like never to go in the crowded environment and maintaining social distancing, which I am going to cover now. So we have come to the next section. Now we know very well that this COVID-19 virus travels through air via droplets. But it cannot travel this way beyond a certain distance, and that is the minimum distance that should be there between the two people and is called as social distancing or physical distancing, or minimum distance between two people. You can call it whatever you like. So as you can see in the image, this distance is minimum 6 feet or 2 meters. 6 feet or 2 meters. This does not only keep you safe from getting infected yourself, but also keep others safe if you are having an asymptomatic infection, or as I told you earlier, are in pre-symptomatic phase of the infection. Now, at all the places where you think there will be overcrowding or poor ventilation, and also in the settings where you tend to surround with unknown people, for example, traveling in a public transport, or in office settings also where there are chances people tend to overlook the preventive measures. Now we will see a video on what all things we need to think about before deciding on going out.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, if you're going out, always ask yourself, how many, how far, how open? How many people will be nearby? COVID-19 spreads more easily in crowded places. Avoid crowds. If not possible, wear a mask. How far apart will people be? The closer people are to one another, the easier it is for COVID-19 to spread. Stay at least 1 meter away from others. If not possible, wear a mask. How open will the space be? The virus spreads more easily in confined and enclosed spaces with poor ventilation. Keep your distance, open windows and doors, and if not possible, wear a mask. Remember that it's always safer to keep your distance, clean your hands, cough or sneeze into your elbow, wear a mask, and open a window. Know your risk, lower your risk.
Now we will see 7 steps to prevent COVID-19. Now we have come to the end of the session, but before playing this final video for you and wrap, I would like to ask you a question, friends. Haven't you felt helpless when your treatment for a disease is not available? Or maybe it is available, but you cannot access it or you cannot afford it. I think most of us have gone through that sometimes in our lives, or at least we have seen someone going through it close to us. But thankfully, this is not applicable here for COVID-19 because the treatment is in your hands, and that is prevention of spread, mitigation guidelines abiding, and vaccination. I sincerely hope this session has improved your understanding on COVID appropriate behavior and will help you keep calm and fight it out. These are my references. Friends, I am sure that you have heard a lot about COVID-19 vaccination. You have seen people taking vaccines. In this session also, you must have witnessed and learnt a lot about COVID-19 vaccination. But as a healthcare worker, we have seen people asking questions about, may it be COVID-19 spread of infection, treatment, and the vaccination. And as a healthcare worker, it is my duty to tell you what is right, what is wrong, because in today's time, when so much information is available, it is sometimes difficult to find out which one is to be followed, which one is to be rejected. So now in this session, I am going to read out some questions to you and I am going to give you the correct information about these questions. So let's start with the first question. Now I am going to read the question. When should I take the first dose of vaccine if I recently recovered from COVID-19? Answer is after 6 weeks of completing the isolation. As you can understand that when a person gets infected, he or she should not take the vaccination. So, when should that person opt for the vaccination for the first dose? See, I'll make you understand by giving an example. Now, suppose I get infected with COVID-19 on 1st of April and in general, I develop some symptoms, I recover, and then I fully recover on the 14th day. So, say by 14th of April, I am fully recovered now. So, that 6 weeks period would be counted from 14th of April onwards. So, it will finish somewhere in the last week of May or first week of June. So, this way you are supposed to calculate the exact date after which you would be eligible for COVID-19 vaccination for the first dose. Now, second question. When should I take the second dose of the vaccine if I contracted the COVID-19 infection after the first dose? The answer is after 6 weeks of completing the isolation period. No booster as of now for getting infected after the second dose. Now friends, this may also happen with, I have seen happening with lot of my patients, that they take vaccine, the first dose, and then before the immunity develops, that is again a different question which I will come to it later. After the first dose, if someone gets contracted with COVID-19 infection, then he should actually postpone the schedule of the second dose, and the duration is absolutely same, that is 6 weeks. So, now suppose again I will give the same example on the 1st of April, but in this example on the 1st of April I got the first shot of the COVID-19 vaccination, and then say around maybe 20th of April last week of April, I get this infection. Now again, suppose if I am diagnosed with infection on 1st of May, I will wait for another 6 weeks after the full recovery. That is, after 14th May, when I recover fully, I will calculate my 6 weeks, or in some cases 90 days. These guidelines keep on changing as we get more and more data after the research and clinical trials. So after that much period of the full recovery, I will go for the second shot. So the bottom line here is, there is a period for which you need to wait for the first dose and also the second dose if you get COVID-19 infection. Next question. As a vaccinating agency, should I report an adverse event to the authorities? The answer is, the agency that provides the vaccine will give a form in which such events should be endorsed by the center giving the vaccine. Now, why this important for you? You are not going to give vaccine to anyone, right? So, the reason why I am telling you about this is, in an event of you yourself or your friends or family member go out and take a vaccine shot at a CVC, that is COVID vaccination center, and something of this sort happens, then you should know that such event should be endorsed by the COVID vaccination center. So you need to make sure it's not your responsibility, but you should be aware of this fact that all such events are recorded. So that is why this information is important to you. Now the next question is COVID-19 vaccine safe in antenatal or lactation period? Now this does not have a very clear-cut guidelines as I speak to you. In some countries, some vaccinations are rolled out for pregnant ladies and in lactation. But the bottom line is, the best protection for this group is to strictly observe COVID appropriate behavior. And whenever the guidelines come, whenever the government opens the vaccination for this group, they should get vaccinated on priority. Next question. Can the vaccine for COVID-19 be taken if a shot of another vaccine is taken recently, for example, tetanus toxoid? So the answer to this question is, there should be a gap of 7 days period between any other vaccine and the COVID-19 vaccine. See, what happens is, suppose I got injured, and as you all know that in case of an open injury, I should get a tetanus shot to protect myself against the tetanus disease. In such case, suppose before I actually my slot booked on the particular day, and 2 days or 3 days before that, 2 days or 3 days before that, if I get hurt and I happen to take tetanus vaccine, so I should be postponing the COVID-19 vaccination because of such an event. So always remember, any vaccine other than COVID-19 vaccine, if you have taken, you should wait for 7 days to take the shot. It may be first or second, whatever. Next question. If someone has any immunocompromising disease, for example, hepatitis, or someone is on chemotherapy for cancer, either currently or in the past, should that person be taking COVID-19 vaccine? The answer is yes. In fact, all these people belonging to such groups should be vaccinated on priority because their immunity is compromised, and that is where the COVID-19 virus attacks. It takes advantage of a host cell or a human's compromised immunity to cause infection. Next question. If I have taken the first dose of a vaccine of a particular brand, you can say for example Covishield, can I take any other vaccine as a second dose because of any reason, maybe unavailability of the same vaccine for the second shot. So, it is advisable to get all the doses of the same vaccine only. What are the side effects of the vaccine? Now, this is a very important point, and I know you must be waiting for this question to come. Now, the answer is yes, as like any other vaccine or any other medicine, any other drug, this vaccine also has got some side effects. But fortunately, most common side effects are anyways we get in other conditions also, like for example, mild fever, mild body ache, weakness. These symptoms generally start after a few hours of vaccination and last for around 2 to 3 days. So, suppose you take a vaccine today, you can expect these symptoms to trouble you from today onwards till 2 to 3 days. Now, next question is there a threat to my life if I take this vaccine? So, the answer is no. It is extremely rare. Any other medicine or any other vaccine, any other new thing that is going into your body, it carries some risk anyways. So, COVID-19 vaccine is also something like that. It is not something different. After taking the vaccine, if I get fever, so this is the next question. After taking the vaccine, if I get fever or body ache, which are the common side effects of the vaccine, how would I know that it is due to the vaccine and not because of the coronavirus infection? So, the answer is, please remember that Covishield is not the coronavirus. It is only disease causing part of the virus that is inactivated in the lab and inoculated as a vaccine. If the symptoms do not go away even after 3 days, then you must see your doctor immediately, because in that case you might have been infected before taking the vaccine and maybe in the incubation period at the time of vaccination. What I mean to say here is, as we all know that COVID-19 virus takes some time inside the body to develop into a full-blown disease or to cause symptoms. So, suppose you are in that phase of the infection when you are already infected, but the symptoms are yet to arise. So, you do not know whether you are infected or not, you go and take the vaccine. So, after taking the vaccine, you may develop some kind of body ache or fever. So, in that case, you will not be able to figure out whether it is because of vaccine or because of the infection. So, in such cases, if the symptoms go off with normal medication, you do not have to worry. But if they are lasting more than 2 to 3 days, a week or so, then you definitely immediately contact your doctor. Next question is, can I consume alcohol or tobacco after vaccination? Answer is not no, but like I said that every vaccine is a foreign particle for your body, and you have immunity working towards it to build up that immunity so that you get advantage of the vaccine. So, in those periods your body should be absolutely calm and active to build up this immunity. So, it is better to avoid alcohol and tobacco after the vaccination. Next question is, should I stop my antihypertensive medication like blood thinners before taking the vaccination? So, the answer is not essentially, but sometimes your doctor may advise you to stop it 3 days before your vaccination day and to restart it 6 hours after the vaccination. So, if you are, needless to say, on any chronic medication for diabetes or for hypertension, thyroid, anything, then obviously you must be in constant touch with your doctor. So, in case of vaccination, you should tell him beforehand that, doctor, on so and so date my vaccination is the slot is booked. So, should I stop the medication or you are going to change the doses, or so basically you need to tell your doctor beforehand so that he can do the necessary amendment in the strategies of your treatment if required. Now next question is, what is the right time to take the second dose of the vaccine? Now the answer is, as per the current guideline says, you can wait till 3 months of the period before you take a second shot. When this vaccine was rolled out in the first phase, it was 6 to 8 weeks, then it got extended to 8 to 12 weeks, and now we are actually asking the people to wait for 90 days before you take a second shot. See, the reason behind this change in the strategy can be the number of trials that are conducted all over the world, and as and when we get the latest information, we correct the strategies. This is how this works. So at present, you should wait for 90 days. Next question, can I take more than one type of vaccine? You know, some people who are extra careful, about their health might think that I have taken full dose of Covishield, now Covaxin is there, so can I take that vaccine also, all the doses, then after few months I will take another dose of another vaccine or something like that. So these kind of query I come across. So the answer to this is, there is no proven benefit of taking more than one vaccine. See, these vaccines are made in certain ways, they act in certain ways, and the end result is same, to provide you adequate immunity so that even if you get infected, the disease disease process do not get started. So that is the idea behind vaccination. So the advisable thing is taking all the prescribed full course of one type of vaccine, because that is sufficient enough to give a person adequate immunity to fight against that infection in the future. Next question, on the day of vaccination, if I have fever, should I take vaccine or no? So the answer is no. All the people who have some kind of problem on the day of vaccination, you may fall ill because of some other disease also, right? Your body doesn't know that you are going to take vaccine on that particular day. So if you are, even before starting from your house to go to your CVC, that is COVID vaccination center, if you feel that you have fever, in the thermometer you can see that it is showing fever 99, 99.5. So you should actually not visit. You should inform the authorities that you are not in a condition, you have fever, so anyways it would be postponed. By chance you reach at the center and then you realize, and then it is showing that you have fever or any other mild disease or mild discomfort or mild symptom, then you should not take vaccine on that particular day after you fully recovered from that disease, say 5 or 7 days, and with a negative RT-PCR report, that means it is not COVID-19 infection, then you can go for that vaccination. So this is how you manage your other illnesses as far as this vaccination is concerned. Next question, I have missed my second dose of vaccine at the recommended time. Till what time can I wait for the second dose? So the answer is 3 months, and if you miss all the opportunities of taking the second dose and 3 months have already passed and more amount of time is passing before you are booked for the slot, then you can consider this first dose as null and void, and you can start your vaccine schedule as a fresh, like you will take the first dose again. So around 3 months is that period. If you are not able to take the second dose around that time, then you need to get revaccinated. Next question, can I still get coronavirus infection after vaccination? The answer is yes. However, since you are vaccinated, you will not get a full-blown COVID-19 infection. Please note that a substantial amount of immunity is provided against coronavirus only after 3 weeks of taking the second dose. So, there are two things I would like to mention here. If I get infection after the vaccination, before the body develops its arsenal fully to fight the infection, you may get infection, but it will not be a full-blown disease. And after second dose, when you take a second dose, after 3 weeks of second dose, a substantial amount, I mean the reasonably good amount of immunity is provided. So, if you ask me what is the point in time where I think that now I am a relatively safer. So, the answer is 3 weeks after second dose. Next question is, if someone gets hospitalized for COVID-19 and misses the second dose of vaccine, what should be done? The answer is, all such cases should be given a vaccine only after 6 weeks of discharge from the hospital. So, like I said in the initial two questions, that when should a person take a vaccine in case he falls ill. So, hospitalization is one of the extension of illness only, because when it is not controlled or treated at home, we go to the hospital and get admitted. So, all such cases also after full recovery can take a 6 weeks gap and take vaccination. Next question is, what is the guideline for vaccinating contacts of a COVID-19 positive case? For them, the guideline is, as soon as their quarantine period gets over, they can take the vaccine. So, these were few questions that I thought I should be sharing the answers with you. Thank you so much for your time once again. Stay safe and get vaccinated. Now, in the next video, you will learn about hygiene and sanitation practices in case of COVID-19 pandemic. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.